What are Datrone and Anthony doing for that room right now? Because they're still young guys, but they've obviously played a lot. What are they kind of adding to kind of help bring everybody along?
You know what? They kind of lead by example. You know, trying to challenge them more to be leaders, because everybody says we're a young group, you know, and trying to get them out of that mindset and knowing that, hey, you know, they got to grow. Not just those guys, they have the most experience, but the whole room itself, you know, we got to grow up. We got to make sure we take advantage of every opportunity we step through those lines and get better. You know, so they're guys that obviously help the younger guys out from, you know, film room and even out on the field whenever I don't have the opportunity to coach them in between plays. You know, they're helping, they're doing a great job. You know, their experience that they have from last year, you know, is a benefit to the room.
What were your initial impressions of those two? Because Coach Campbell to us has raved about them for last year. We saw them in 3 and 4 starts, so we saw glimpses. But what were your initial impressions of their talent level?
Good players. You know, good players for being that young and contributing and playing that many snaps. You know, did some really good things on film and, you know, made plays. And it's not easy to play that early, you know, especially in this conference, in the situation they were thrown in. But just kind of shows you their maturity, and, you know, obviously they still have room to grow as players and as people. But just really impressed with what I saw last year, and even through the first 10 practices, it's been really good.
How's the depth come along? I know you guys moved Tavon over there, and then Keontae's been early in his career back and forth between safety and corner, but are those the main two coming along at depth, or who's kind of stepping up behind them?
Yeah, you got those two. You got Javion Morton as well. You know, those guys are still understanding and trying to learn the position. You know, like you said, Keontae's been moved back and forth, and with Tavon and Javion, those guys have really, you know, been in the defense for 10 practices, you know, so they're coming along, they're learning. Like I said before, it's just trying to take advantage of every opportunity that we get in the film room and on the field to continue to grow, you know, and develop as a player. But they're coming along. You've still got some work to do, but you know, been pleased with the progression they've made so far.
How's the transition for you been so far?
As a whole position group?
As a position group, you joining the staff and coming in?
It's been great. I mean, the kind of thing that set it off when I came for my interview was the people in the building, and that's been true for the first 3 months. I mean, you can't really I can't complain about everything. Everybody in that building they're great people, you know, and we're all in it for the same reason. You know, we want to develop players to be the best they can be on and off the field, and obviously have a chance to win a championship. As far as position group wise, you know, working in the back end with some great coaches over the years has, you know, helped the transition to coach corners, you know, a lot easier. You know, Coach McDonald's helped me out a ton the first 3 months of, you know, picking up little things here and there, and, you know, what he taught those guys and trying to keep it very similar. But, you know, I'm very happy with the decision and glad to be part of the staff.
You mentioned that you got to get the mindset out that they're a young group. What goes into that? Because I think people from the outside are excited, but also they just haven't seen these guys much like on the field like you guys have.
Yeah, just, you know, it's kind of the off the field stuff is, you know, making sure they're on time to meetings and going to class, and understanding how to watch film. You know, not only from an offensive standpoint, hey, how are they going to attack us, but watching themselves on film. What are they doing wrong technique-wise? You know, it's position on the field where you got to tell those guys they got to master their craft. You know, they got to be good. Everybody sees a DB falling down and giving up a big play. You know, all eyes are on us every play. So it's getting in the mind frame of you got to have a little bit of swagger and confidence. You know, but you also got to study film and study the playbook. And, you know, when your time comes, whether you get 2 reps of practice or 35 reps, you got to take advantage of them. You got to be locked in. You got to do it well.
Have you done any ones against ones yet at all? Probably not. After would you say 10 practices?
Yeah, I mean, just a little bit. You know.
Okay. So can you as a cornerbacks coach, can you evaluate maybe like Tariq?
Yeah, special player. You know, good, can run routes, fast. You know, he's a matchup problem.
Really? Because he's not the tallest person on the planet.
You know, speed kills.
Okay.
You know, speed kills. But yeah, it's tough to cover big guys too. We had that issue last year at West Virginia. But you know, he's kind of he got really good ball skills. You know, smart. I think he's got a really good football IQ. You know, but somebody that so far through 10 practices has really stood out on the offensive side of the ball at wide out.
You mentioned swagger. I think we've seen there's been a couple videos they've posted. It seems like there's a lot of back and forth between Anthony Johnson and Purdy. It seems like Anthony Johnson carries a little bit of that swagger with him.
He does. Sometimes I think it's a little bit of immaturity. So there it goes back to me saying, hey, we need to grow up, you know, in certain situations. And I understand it. You see the same guys for 10 practices. And yeah, it's a little bit of John goes on, you know, but it's when to do it, when not to do it. I know it's all in good fun, you know, but still that goes back with, hey, growing up, you know, celebrate with your teammates and, you know, that stuff that we can do another day.
What's it been like working with Coach Haycock, obviously a veteran guy that has head coaching experience, just kind of brought this defense, put it on the map, really?
Yeah, I mean, it's been great. I've learned a ton. You know, I learned a ton coming from a deal where we were kind of basic, you know, do a little bit more coverage here, you know, but that's just part of the layout, you know, part of the plan. And, you know, just sitting in the film room as defensive staffs and everybody just kind of talking through every play, you know, and Coach Haycock leading the way, you know, has really helped me out and understand what we're trying to accomplish defensively. You know, so it's been a really good 3 months, and I've learned a lot.